even when I'm down. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the ground. I got big dreams. Gonna make 'em. Yeah, we got big dreams here in the Genius Lab. This is your self-empowerment coach, Toby, and I am so excited today. This is our 20th podcast based on my new book, Release Your Shit and Reclaim Your Power. We're getting ready for our August 1st Kauai retreat. It's a 9-week epic journey, and we start with 5 days on the island of Kauai, and then we do some one-on-ones to keep the magic alive in your life. So that's that. So today we're talking about defining personal power. You know, we can talk about reclaim your power, but if we don't know what the power is, it makes it kind of difficult, right? So think about this. What is it for you to be in your power? There's it's kind of a tricky energy to work with, you know, and there was an article written back in 2009 called The Ethics of Interpersonal Relationships, where a group of psychologists talked about power. And most of it was about their power, the use of power in their profession. But it was very interesting because I see this in people in general, okay? And so let's look at what positive personal power is, from my definition anyway. Personal power is based on strength, confidence, and competence. Okay? People, they gradually acquire this during their course of development, okay? So while we're growing up, we learn lessons and we either respond to them with bitterness, anger, and try and control things, or we learn how we live in the world. We learn that we're a unique being and that we have value being here, okay? Which gives us the ability to learn. And as we learn that we're valuable, and so is everybody else. Someone in their power is aware of this, okay? It's healthy to have, to strive for connection, to have a natural kind of self-assertion, right? And it's important because you are valuable, you are powerful, you are amazing, you do bring gifts into the world, and so does everyone else. And this is, I think, where we get off on, you know, people that think of themselves as being valuable. It's like, oh, well, they're just an egomaniac. Well, they might be an egomaniac, but they also might just realize their greatness, okay? And how you see yourself is really, really important to how you'll succeed. You'll notice that people that are in their power have the ability to encourage others. Okay, so a person in their power will deliver good news. Okay, let's say your company broke all its records and hit its goals, right? The CEO in their power will come in and say, "Hey, man, we did an awesome job. You know, tech, you did good. IT, you did great. Sales, you did awesome. Marketing, blah, blah, blah." They share the success. Okay, they share the glory. A person not in their power will come in, "I have led this company to blah, 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 blah." So that's a person that's not in their power. And just got to get a little tea there. So that's one way how you can tell if a person's in their power or not. The other thing is when they deliver bad news. You know, "Hey man, we really fucked up this time." It's we fucked up, not you guys fucked up, and you're making me look bad. Okay? A person in their power shares the victory and shares the defeat. And so they're not about self-promotion, they're about encouraging everyone to work together. Again, just like that saying from Malidoma, everyone is born a genius. And it's the job of the village to acknowledge and support the genius that resides in each and every one of us. Each and every one of us. That's the key. So one question I hear a lot is, how do I propagate personal power? So owning your power, one of the things I think that, first of all, it's owning your personal power means that you think about more than just yourself. Okay, certainly it's about a level of mastery and competence, and I use that word a lot just because it fits personal power so well, right? And so there's a certain amount of mastery, there's a certain amount of competence, and you think you take responsibility for your own mastery and the things that you're responsible for. But it's bigger than that. It's about service, not for the purpose of self-promotion. So I want to be good so I can be of service to others. I want to do these podcasts and I want to write these books so that people can change their lives and get better. It's not about like, worship me, the best-selling author. That's why I don't buy those bullshit programs where you sell 2 books and you're a national bestseller. It just fucking drives me crazy when people do that. And that to me is a sure evidence that a person is not in their power. Because it's all about them. And even it's like these PhDs, I see them advertised online, get your life experience PhD. And so some fuckhead goes, yeah, man, I got 4 PhDs. What do you have them in? Well, life experience. Where'd you get them from? Bumfuck University. Yeah. And then, of course, they name these places. Oh, it drives me crazy. I shouldn't even have gotten started. They name these places to sound like universities that actually exist. That is a person not in their power. A person in their power is always thinking about the bigger picture and how they fit into the whole. Okay? Whoa, boy, we got all kinds of things going on today. Sorry about that. So the most important, one of the ways to look, if you want to check out to see where you're at, and this can be sometimes frightening, is look at your goals and objectives. Look at your core values. Are they all about you? If your goals are all about you making a certain amount of money, you having a certain level of achievement, you getting a certain amount of recognition, guess what? Time to take a look at that power issue. If your goals are about you attaining stuff for a bigger thing, then boy, that made a lot of sense, didn't it? Oh, well. So if it's about you looking at the bigger picture, for example, I want to have certain equipment. I have some goals to get certain microphones and certain guitars and amplifiers and stuff here in the studio because I want our Hear the Hope adventures with these kids from Children's Hospital and the veterans that we work with. I want them to have the best experience possible, and I want to make the best quality music as possible. And so, yes, I want those things, but I want them to be so that I can be of greater service. Okay, so the Porsche and the Maserati, that's just because I love that shit. But anyway. So look at your goals. What kind of energy do you have there? What are your objectives? So is it all about you, or is it about the greater good? I have an acquaintance that is associate. He talks about his astrological sign quite a bit, and he uses it as an excuse to be a dick. And he's like, well, I was born a Leo, so I can't help it. Leos, it's all about me. And Leo is the lion, and I am the king, and so everything is about me. And he's very self-serving, very selfish. Everything's about him. There's no character flaws. He just is a Leo, and that's why he's a dick. So then I talked to my friend Kirk, and Kirk is a master at astrology. I mean, he's really good. And he said, well, Toby, now wait a minute. Let me tell you something about being a Leo. Leo is the king. And he said the immature Leo is cocky and self-serving and self-centered and self-aggrandizing. He said the mature Leo, the king, holds the space for everyone to find their greatness. A true leader, a true Leo, a true king, holds the space for his entire kingdom to be great, for everyone in the village to realize their greatness. And he holds that space. And I thought, wow, what a great way to look at things. And I thought that was cool. So being in your power or being out of your power,
you can tell by how people treat other people and how they treat themselves. So if we're going to be bringing, if we're going to nurture and propagate our positive personal power, what we want to do, here's some basic ideas that are helpful, okay? Read good, positive books. Okay, one of the things that I do is I read a book a month. And it doesn't have to be a freaking giant novel. A lot of times, I love Stephen Pressfield, and he's got these great books, and most of them are like 100 to 120 pages. They're not big. Another great book is Release Your Shit and Reclaim Your Power by Toby Christensen. Oh my God, did I actually say that? Good, positive books, okay? Recite positive affirmations daily. Now, I'm not a big one for like, I am a millionaire, I am the king of the world kind of things. You know, positive affirmations are to remind you where you're heading. Okay. And the thing is, if you lie to yourself, and I went over this earlier in a chapter, if you lie to yourself, your subconscious is just going to say, fuck you. You are not a millionaire, you dick. You have like $30 in your checking account and you're not a millionaire. And you get this giant gridlock thing going. So if you're going to do the thing about personal affirmations is they remind you of your greatness. They're truthful statements. Okay. And then do your work on your triggers. And we're going to study this in an upcoming chapter in depth. But this is like cool shit, man. Like your triggers, the trips you go on, what pushes your buttons, how do you freak out when that happens? You know, it's like, journaling is another good way. And, getting things on paper so that you're not just rattling shit around in your head, but you're really owning what you have. And then by taking your ideas and taking them from the mindset, from the energy form, and giving them physical form on paper in this dimension helps you to move forward and create and manifest the things that you want. Another good thing is to join a mastermind group. And there's all kinds of these around. I'm not currently leading one, but at some point I may. I think they're a good idea. But the thing, if you're going to join a mastermind group, make sure you're willing to contribute and make sure that the people that you're in with are people that you want to be like, because the whole idea is that you're sharing each other's stuff and you're learning and growing from each other. And then last but not least, I have on my list is work with a coach, okay, or better yet, a self-empowerment trainer. And the idea is that a lot of coaches come up, my experience is they have the impression that they are the coach, they are the boss, they know the game better than anybody, and they're going to tell you what to do. And I know people who literally will not make a decision on anything until they talk to their coach. That's not my model, okay? I'm more of a self-empowerment person. I want you to find the answers for yourself. And it's also why my average client is like 14 months, right? I know people who have had the same coach for years. And I have had people who's coached with me for years, but it was always to keep raising the bar, okay? It wasn't working on the same stuff. So self-empowerment is about you finding your power, not you relying on your coach to have the power and the answers. I want you to be powerful. Okay. And, one of the great places that we see the abuse of power is in politics, religion, the corporate world. There's some nasty shit going on out there, and people are always trying to figure out how they fit in. And you can always tell people who are strong in their own personal power and who are weak, because people who are weak in their own personal power. Now, first of all, humans are the most meaning-seeking creatures on the planet. And we're always looking at how we fit in. So it's true that when you go to a social event, you always see people sniffing around. They're like dogs. Dogs run around. You go to the dog park. Dog runs around, sniffs at all the other dogs' butts to see who's got the power, who's doesn't have the power, who are the submissive ones, so on and so forth. And people do the same thing. We're always looking at people's, what kind of clothes they wear, what kind of watch do they have, what kind of jewelry do they have on, what kind of shoes are they wearing, what did they drive up in. I mean, we're always measuring ourselves because we're looking at where we fit in. But a person in their power has a self-referencing ability to fit in, and then they figure out how to interact with a particular group that they might be with. So it's a completely different way of working at things and of approaching things. So I hope this was helpful on personal power. Look at your goals. Are they for just yourself, or are they geared towards making the world a better place? Do you think of yourself most of the time or all of the time, or are you thinking about how you can contribute to others? Do you want all the attention, or do you share? Are you giving accolades to those around you and those who helped you get where you were or where you are? Okay, so think about that. Have fun with it and be in your power. Get my book, Release Your Shit and Reclaim Your Power. Go through the exercises. There's a ton of exercises in there. Hey, if you can swing it, come to Kauai, man. It is amazing. I'm also going to be doing workshops this same retreat. I'm going to be doing it in Mount Shasta, Taos, New Mexico, and it looks like maybe even Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So check it out. Stay in the loop. Stay in contact. You can find me on Facebook at Toby Christensen. You can find me on the web, tobychristensen.com and healingdrummer.com. I hope you have a fantastic day and that you keep looking up.